this is what I say. I say you got hoodwinked, and that's okay. That's okay. Because as I was just telling somebody just a minute ago, I have dated in my life. I know they've been talking about whether or not I'm married and all this other stuff. I'm not married, never married, okay? Just want to get that out there. But I have dated. And I will say, any of us that have ever dated, we've been hoodwinked a time or two, where we just sat there and we thought that he was going to be so great for us because he sold us on all the things, or her, okay? And then we realized they ain't shit. That's where we are, and that's okay. What matters is that you wake up and you say, this is not the one for me.
All right, guys. So once again, we got to talk about ghetto Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett, okay? And the reason why we got to talk about her is because Byron Donalds responded to Jasmine Crockett, claiming that Byron Donalds is whitewashed because he has a white wife, okay? And it went viral. It was a comment she made on the Breakfast Club before the election. She says so many unhinged things that people are now just digging up stuff, right? Because it's just really out there, okay? And she is one of the individuals that I am hoping and praying leads the Democrat Party coming up in the future, okay? AOC is actually leading Chuck Schumer in some polls out in New York for the New York Senate race, which means that, yeah, the Democrat Party probably has gone full-blown progressive at this point, right? And if you have the AOCs, Jasmine Crockett's leading that party, it's definitely bad for the country. But in the long run, it makes it a lot easier for Republicans to win, because I refuse to believe that this country will ever vote for Looney Tunes like AOC or Jasmine Crockett at the national level when we're talking about running for president. I just don't see it happening, mainly because I just don't see men ever lining up to vote for that agenda. But who knows? With the average testosterone level of men declining, maybe we could get to that point. I'm hoping RFK can help turn around this very unfortunate trend to help save our country. But I'm just saying, right? Speaking of not having any man, right? Jasmine Crockett is single. She does not have a man. Okay, she admitted that. And that's why I find it to be so fascinating that she decided to criticize a fellow sitting member of Congress who is black, who is in a relationship, right? For who he chose to marry when she can't get married, right? She can't find a dude. So again, Byron Donalds is going to respond to the ghetto Congresswoman. And without further ado, let's go ahead and get into it.
It's a clapback you've got to see. You probably heard what Jasmine Crockett said about Byron Donalds on that guy Lenny's radio show. She sat there and called out his wife because of her race and then went on this rant. Now, I interviewed Byron Donalds a little while ago. You've got to see his reaction. Do not stop watching this. It's going to blow your mind.
And if we continue to put people into office, and that even means some of our skinfolk who definitely are not our kinfolk, such as Byron Donalds, who are going to continue to say that, like, I mean, the fact that you sitting around talking about life was better under Jim Crow, like, is this because you don't understand history? Or literally it's because you married a white woman and so you think that that whitewashed you?
Well, it's because he didn't actually say that, right? He didn't say that. But, you know, it's just funny how these people just make up stuff to fake outrage about. And this is how you know their arguments are weak, when they have to basically make up the things that you said, because he actually just never said that. And they know this, but, you know, it is what it is.
You married a white woman, so you think that whitewashes you. Well, I had Byron Donalds on. He's running for governor of the great state of Florida, and it was just a great conversation. But he went there. You got to see this.
First and foremost, don't talk about my wife. Keep my wife out of this. Ain't got nothing to do with her. You could talk to me about policy anytime you want to. Secondarily, there was a couple of times on the campaign trail last year where I know I was booked to be on stage or to be in debate with Jasmine, and all of a sudden her schedule changed. She had a conflict, whatever the case might be. So if she wants to do this, if she wants to have that debate, I'm easy to find. You know, you ain't got to look hard for me. You know, I'm 6'2". You can find me. It's pretty easy. Number three, and most importantly, this demonstrates, frankly, the racism in the Democrat Party, because they don't have a problem when Kamala Harris is married to a white man or when Ketanji Brown Jackson's married to a white man, as long as they subscribe to the politics of the Democratic left. As long as you do that, everything is fine.
Exactly.
But if you're a conservative, but your spouse happens to be white or of another race, then all of a sudden it's a problem. This is the racism that occurs in the Democrat Party. I'm sick of it, tired of the BS. I tell any one of them who have a concern about me and what they think my views are, debate me. And if you don't want to debate me, Google me. There's plenty of information out there because I know that I have the facts. I have the information. I can back my stuff up. All they can do is throw out innuendos, throw out talking points. And the last thing I'll say about Ms. Crockett, and I'm going to leave it alone. Jasmine, I don't use talking points. Nobody tells me what to say. And so I know how to deliver a message because I have facts, I have logic, I use economics, I don't get into hyperbole. So if you are concerned about some of the things that I say find a show. It could be whatever show you want to. We'll sit there and do it. We'll have a good time along the way, and you'll go ahead and be defeated very quickly.
Make sure you're following this channel right here. If you like this kind of stuff, make sure that you comment.
Yo, I mean, Byron Donalds said, let's just cut the BS, right? We don't have to go back and forth, okay? You can meet me anywhere, and we can hash it out, right? That's basically what he's saying, and I respect it. I really do. Now, do I think that Jasmine Crockett is going to take him up on it? Probably not, okay? Probably not, right? But, you know, hey, I do find it, again, interesting how there's always criticism for black men who date outside of the race, right? But when black women do it, it's celebrated, right? They celebrated Kamala Harris for doing it, Ketanji Brown Jackson, Cringe Jean Pierre, right? I guess it's a white woman, but you know, all of these women, you know, they love white people, right? Okay, they love the great white pipe. They love all of it. I'm low-key surprised that Jasmine Crockett, she hasn't found her a nice white man, right? She hasn't went out and got her a vanilla smoothie. I'm surprised. Actually, I'm not, right? I'm not, because ultimately at the end of the day, she's single for a reason, right? And I think that's why she attacked Byron Donalds and his wife. The reason why she attacked his wife is because she wishes that she was Mrs. Donalds, right? And the fact is, she's 40 years old, single, lonely, okay, miserable, cranky. We can tell she's clearly not very happy, okay? I mean, because if you're happy with your life, you can't run around with an attitude like that, right? With that type of attitude, you can't be happy. So clearly she's not happy. And I think that's why she was lashing out. I think she was jealous, right? I think she sees Byron Donalds' wife and she's like, oh, how I let that black man get away, right? How I let that white woman take that black man away, right? I think that's what she thinks. I think it's jealousy. I really do. And that's why I think this story is so funny to me. Right? Because it's such a weird attack, right? It's such a weird angle, right? And she name dropped him. She name dropped him like that's something that she had been thinking about for a while, right? Like that's been on her mind. She just really been wanting to say out loud how much she just don't like the fact that Byron Donalds is with a white woman, right? Like, why do you care that much, right? Like, why? Like for real, why do you care that much? I'm just saying. But what Jasmine Crockett is too stupid to realize is that her attitude, the way that she carries herself, this stereotypical, ghetto, rude, narcissistic, annoying behavior that she's engaged in, right? This character of a black woman, okay, from the hood, that is why you're single, right? That is why black men are running away from those types of black women. And what a lot of these people don't realize that encourage this type of behavior is that the more black women find this to be acceptable, the more they engage in this type of behavior, the worse this trend is going to get, right? They already boo-hoo, whine, and cry about every black NFL athlete that's not with a black woman. They boo-hoo, whine, and cry. But they love it. They love it when white boys, when they get them a black woman, they love that, okay? They idolize that, right? They idolize that. Oh, vanilla chocolate, we love it, right? Like, this is what they do, okay? This is what they do. It's so funny to me, right? It really is. But at the same time, they supposed to hate the white man. But yet, when a black woman is with a white man, they act like it's the best thing ever, right? I just don't understand it. I really don't. I'm very confused by some of these individuals, okay? I really am. You know? So, again, I don't think that Jasmine Crockett is going to respond to Byron Donalds, okay? But it would be interesting. It would be fascinating if she did respond. I think ultimately at the end of the day, this is coming from a place of jealousy and hate. Jasmine Crockett, the behaviors that she's engaged in, it is just not a good reflection on her upbringing. It's not a good reflection on her constituents. It's not a good reflection on the Democrat Party. And I, again, welcome Jasmine Crockett continuing to embarrass herself, okay, and to give me content to talk about. But on the other hand, Byron Donalds is running for governor of Florida, okay? So he's not just taking attacks from Jasmine Crockett. He's taking attacks from Ron DeSantis, because I think Ron wants his wife to run, right? He wants to do some type of dynasty shadow governorship in Florida, I guess. I don't know. But I'm just saying, Byron is going to be taking some attacks, right? Byron Donalds is definitely going to be taking some attacks because he's running for governor. And it's crazy because the people that are going to be attacking him the most are not going to be white people. It's going to be black folks, right? I mean, there's literally like a niche section of YouTube, right, of black liberals who all they do is talk about black conservatives. That's all they do. They literally, every video is just, they're just hating on black conservatives. Because black conservatives are actually, doing things, right? Black conservatives are on the come up and they just hate it. Okay, so again, they're trying to tear down Byron Donalds, right? There's a whole section of YouTube dedicated, like black people just dedicated to wishing for Byron's downfall, right? Which I think is a very weird thing to me, right? I think it's very, very, very weird because they'll say they're pro-black, right? And that they want so-called black empowerment. But for whatever reason, they don't want black empowerment for black conservatives. And it's like, well, if black conservatives are becoming more successful, doesn't that pave the way for other black people, whether they be conservative, liberal, or just black people in politics in general, right? See, again, for these people, they pretend that it's about racial empowerment, but it's not. It's about Democrat Party, liberal, progressive empowerment, okay? That's what it's really about. That's what it's really about. They hide the pro-Democrat activism behind the whole, oh, well, I'm pro-black thing, right? I'm just looking out for black folks. Except black people I don't like. Black people I disagree with politically, screw them, right? I'm going to wish for their downfall. And that's like the funny thing about the Byron Donalds hate that I see. It's very fascinating to watch people claim to be pro-black while doing everything they can to tear down black people that just don't agree with them politically. It's actually fascinating. But let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share a black conservative perspective. Peace.